How many of you are currently working with the institution that pay attention or concern on interfaith mediation or interfaith peace building? May you raise? Look, fokus. Out of focus, ya. Berapa banyak di antara Anda yang saat ini bekerja dengan lembaga yang memberi perhatian pada interfaith mediation atau interfaith peace building, faith-based peace building, ya? Oh, lumayan. Ya. How many of you have ever initiated the process of building the institution, interfaith institution?
What you mean?
Like the interfaith center. Initiating the process, the genesis of interfaith center. Ada. Ya, terlibat. Oke, jadi pasti kita punya banyak pengalaman, kekayaan pengalaman di sini ya, tentang proses-proses, tantangan-tantangan untuk membangun sejak awal dan proses untuk mengelola itu. Kita punya proses untuk mengelola itu. Nah, itu akan memperkaya kita pada sesi ini. Ya. Pada sesi ini kita akan dialog lebih lanjut tentang itu, tentang apa yang dipunyai teman-teman. But we will start with Pastor James. Yeah. Pastor James memberikan ada slide presentation untuk Interfaith Mediation Center in Kaduna. Center yang mereka bangun berdua pada proses yang telah dijelaskan oleh Imam Ashafa tadi. Yeah. So he will give us more information and detail in terms of how they build, how they deal, how they struggle with the IMC, yeah, with the IMC. Please.
Matanong, terima kasih. You know, in Hausa word, sama-sama means up. So that's what I say, sama-sama. Okay, wonderful. It is another pleasure. Someone not smiling yet. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. You know, they say when you smile again, some good things happen to your system. So I like smiling so that those good things will happen to my system. Yeah, so having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come here to actually share with you how we, from birth to crawling, to walking, to running, and to slowing down, and to picking up. How we manage growth. When you start a center, you will grow, and it will be so big that you have to manage it. Lack of managing growth can destroy whatever you started. From our story, you will have heard that the interfaith mediation was a child of necessity that occurred as the result of a chance meeting. And for us, people of faith, we say it is divinely arranged. And for some, they will say the stars met. And in other tradition of other faiths that I don't know very well, they talk about destiny. I will say destiny brought us together. but it started with a negative destiny, the negative occurring, and is growing gradually to where we are finding ourselves. So the birth of IMC have been explained. When I mean IMC, I shared with you the journey from youth, from the name, the nomenclature, into a generally accepted name that resonates with everyone and nobody feels the senior or the junior. The birth of interfaith has identified a core value. Core value means it is what we cannot compromise in the center. It is our spirituality. We are not proselytizing, but we wear the lens of faith to address contemporary issues. Issues that will better our community, issues that will promote harmonious coexistence, issues that will unite the nations. We realize we were able to create a niche for ourselves by invoking our spirituality, our religion, to propagate an idea. And yesterday, jokingly, I said to you, you can market virtually anything in Nigeria using religion. So the power in our religion that has been hijacked, we hijacked it before, we were operationalizing the system of using religion negatively. But we have our interpretation of saying we are justifying our actions or inactions based on the blame on the others. We were trading blame games. You did this, that's why I did that. And he will say, or she will say, you did that, and that is why we did this. So we were trading blames. And because we were trading blames, we were living in a cycle. And we need to break out of the cycle to begin to celebrate each other without compromising our initial core value. And to be relevant is to continue to interface and interact with your constituency. The day you stop being a member of your constituency, then you cease to have dominion and control. And you become non-consequential, and you are not a stakeholder again. So whatever you do, if they have to pray, if you hear the azan, as a faith person, you have to go and pray. If you hear the bell in the church, you have to excuse your friends and go and pray. Because in praying with your people, you are identifying with them. If there are issues that need to be corrected, then you are strategically placed by the reason of your engagement with them to be able to move them, to make shit to happen. If shit, I don't mean shit. I mean shifting to happen. Not going to the restroom to happen. So for that, the birth is what we have told you earlier. So I don't need to repeat that. I need to maximize the use of the time we have. Am I now talking to the mic? I thought they will have complained, but you know the people here are very cautious and they don't want to hurt us, and they didn't tell you talk to the mic. Number 2, can you punch that? I have already, in all that you have heard, we have talked about the birth. So when we were given birth to, we needed capacity. We were religious young people that were passionate about their faith. And in our efforts to project our faith, we were even willing to destroy the other in order to project the faith. Kaduna State is a micro Nigeria. It is a point. Is there any map there? There's supposed to be a map. Go further and let me see. Map. Okay. The guy thought, no man. There is one with the map. You know, you do several of these things, and sometimes your personal assistant think he can think more than you, and he changed some of the things and said, no, this is better for you here. Do you know the story? I don't know whether somebody told you the story of a driver and a professor. The chauffeur will always drive the professor to make presentations. And he has had the prof several times. And on one of those occasions, he saw the professor yawning, and he was so tired. I said, Prof, I can actually do this presentation. I've had you severally. He said, okay. Now they stopped by and they changed dress. The prof took the dress of the driver, and the driver wore the beautiful suit of the prof. And behold, the prof now was sitting in the audience while the driver made the presentation. He did it so eloquently, so detailed, so perfect, that everybody in the audience gave him a standing ovation. And now behold the acid test. They asked him questions. Prof, you said this, you said this. He said, come man, that's not. Why? He said, Prof, are you actually a prof? Even my driver over there can respond to this question. Come on, my driver, respond to this question. And of course, the driver came up and did all the mathematics and calculations. They now applauded more that the driver of the prof has so been impacted by the lectures that he now can be seen as the prof. So Samson in the office is now the prof. So, but I was talking about Kaduna. Sorry for the jokes. Kaduna State is delicately balanced. It is in geography we call doldrum. Doldrum is the point where two winds meet. So the wind of Islam started blowing long ago from the northern part. And later, the wind of Christianity started blowing from the sea. And they met somewhere in Kaduna. And so the population of Kaduna is delicately balanced. And so when we do things, we struggle over issues, we look at everything from religion. The ethnicity sometimes is not too pronounced. Always it's about religion. Why is he putting a Muslim? Why is he putting a Christian? So that is where we came from. So we're all fighting to push the wind towards the other. And we crash and clash. And usually the result is death. One of the clashes where I lost this hand, I think in 3 days, over 2,000 people were killed. And they were using machetes. Houses were pulled down. We don't have the picture now, but people are down within, and they use their hands to pull down the houses. But the irony of it, elitist houses like that of Prof, and that of Jackie, and the other Prof there pointing at the people there are not destroyed. is usually the house of the common people. The poor man kills the poor man, the poor woman kills the poor woman. So that is how it came. And so to address that, we say, Imam told you that one of the methods is to do focus group discussion and bring people to discuss. Here it says training of leaders on peaceful coexistence and conflict resolution. And we didn't say here that we want to discuss the issue of the killing in Kaduna. No, we said no, we'll do some training. We'll give capacity to religious leaders, imams and pastors, on how to do conflict resolution. That is how it started. So the capacity we needed was to go to school. So we had trainings that we did not solicit for. We didn't ask to be trained, but the people saw some virtues and qualities. Sorry, your camera has to be moving around. I don't want to stay like a stone like in the church or in the mambri in the mosque to present the khutbah, the sermon. I want to move around. So I think the camera people too should work. Okay, that's a joke, but it's real, isn't it? So having said that, we needed capacity and we were giving, and we didn't ask for it, Prof. When we met, when we were trying to do the negotiation to be friends, somebody heard about us and said, can you come to a 3 days capacity building for stakeholders on conflict resolution? You say, what is conflict resolution? And 3 days? What are you talking about? So we went, and there was a facilitator from Lagos and one from Lagos, a white woman, married to Nigeria.
Hello. Point of observation.
Yes, observe.
You are invited, I am not invited.
No, the first one. I didn't want to tell the story because the story you must shine where I dull. So I didn't want to bring where I said I was invited first. But Imam wanted me to say the story as it is. I was invited to attend a program and we have started working with Imam and we did not know what to do. We were talking debate or dialogue. Didi. And like I told you, I opted for dialogue because I didn't know the Quran. He knows the Bible. So if we go and he said this and I can't respond, they'll say they will clap for him, they will applaud him, and I will be booed. Boo. So I didn't want it. So I was invited to that program and I was just sharing with them. There is a young man, an ustaz, that we are talking about this. We are talking about how we can bring the young people together. They say, can you find him? I say, yes. Then bring him tomorrow. But Imam went to my office and he was told that I was attending a program and he came on his motorbike. He has a scooter there. You know scooter? Yeah. He was there. And I said, oh, he looked in through the door. I said, yeah, that's him. They said, come and join. They made him a participant immediately. At the end of the day, the white woman said, look, you need to be trained more. So they sent us to our capital city then, Lagos, to University of Lagos to have 2 weeks intensive training on conflict resolution. We started learning. The white man who came from London said, you guys, I think you need some more capacity. Would you like to come to the UK? We say, wow, that's something. They say, yes. Everything paid for 11 weeks. We went to responding to conflict to learn conflict resolution. In those days, it was called conflict management. We went abroad, yes. Very first time, in 1997. Actually, January. And Imam was very stubborn. You know why I say he was stubborn? In my geography, I know that in January it snows over there. And I told Imam, can we buy shoes in Nigeria? And he said, what kind of, say, James, come on, forget about it. What kind of cold can we not endure? And behold, Imam brought this kind of sandals. And he showed that time he didn't put his turban, he had a small cap. So I went and bought this in Nigeria with Nigerian Naira. Cheap. When we landed in Amsterdam To even open the door of the aircraft, they have to de-snow it with hot water. It opened. And then we take a city hopper from Amsterdam to Birmingham City. And you know the city hopper does not go through the gangway. It's a small aircraft. So we landed in the snow. So the first step he will take was into the snow. This way. He said, Pastor, I'm dying. I said, no, you will not die. You are such a strong man. Quickly into the taxi. And when we got to the school, it was empty and everywhere was white. Nobody outside. We said, whoa, these white people. They can't even come and welcome us. So, another layer of snow. Then, luckily for us, the president of the school was coming out. I saw him. He said, wow, you must be the imam. He said, yes. Wow, you are not dressed well. And to serve him right, he has an allowance. So the school, the president went and bought him Clark shoe, very warm Clark, 35 pounds. And it was taken out of his money. You know the white man don't give you free thing. So I said, Imam, if you had had me, it would have cost you maybe 5 pounds. But they are taking 35 pounds out of your allowance to buy you a shoe. So these are experiences at the teaching age. We disagreed, but we were friends, but we were also suspicious of one another. So we use this time. The next slide, please. What do we do? Generally speaking, we felt that in order to be effective, you must collaborate with the government. If you work against the government, you will not succeed. For some of you who might be addressing issues of human rights concerns, you may be addressing issues that have to border on political, be careful. They can squeeze you and put you in the bottle and cock you. And that's the end. Don't fight them. Don't work for them. So you need to collaborate with the state. I wish that a member of the state security is here. Maybe he's here, I don't know. Because they will listen and they will report. These guys are doing the right thing. Let's allow them. They will not give you support. They will not stop you. But you are talking about a generic thing, peace. And every government wants the state to be governable. And so you are providing the stage for them to do. So collaboration with the government is important. But if they like you so much, and they give you an unconditional support, take it. If you reject it, it's also a problem. If you say, we don't want your money, keep your money, say, okay, he's working for British. You understand? So when they give us support, we take it, but we say, look, we have a strategy. Can you allow us run it the way we want? If they are very strong about no, but we have not experienced that yet. Where they say, no, do this, we have give you a blueprint. We don't take blueprints because one, we are religious people, we will not be doing double standard. Then we also say, okay, when you find out that you do the top, then do also the middle. And civil society organizations like yours are the middle. You are the bridge between the top and the bottom. As we speak to you now, the civil society in Nigeria is so strong that the parliament are trying to legislate to restrict the activities of the civil society. As we speak now, it has gone through the second reading. But there is an uproar. Uproar. That English?
Yeah.
Yes. Among the civil society that they are hitting the terrain and they are even threatening to call back the legislators through mobilization of the electorate. You say that's not what we send you to. So there is a conflict now between civil society. So they can be very strong. And the traditional leaders in Nigeria, the Amir, which is Emir, Amir, is both a spiritual leader and a political leader. We have chiefs in other non-Muslim communities that are chiefs, but they are not religious leaders. So you need both to market your idea. And somebody was saying, how do? You do advocacy to them and submit yourself to their authority and asking them for their blessing. Then they know you are not a threat. Local government collaboration. LGA means local government authorities. I don't know how you call your own here, but it's the same? Yeah. You see, that's what the prof said in that language he said. And so and Imam said later in his speech, he said you do multi-track system, right? You identify the stakeholders. They may not be local government authorities, they may be individual, powerful individual, they may be youth leaders in the communities, they may be women leaders in the communities, they may be market association, women who sell coconuts in the market. Those may fish sellers cooperative. I don't know whether women sell fish here. Those who take the fish from the fishermen and distribute it. They may form a clique. You need everybody. You need the Budo people. What do you call that motorcycle? The commercial motorcycle? Oje. Oje. You need the Ojes because they are a powerful network. What do you have for peace for the Ojes? And all that you have to. The next, that's the method. You create a peaceful society through non-violence and strategic engagement.
About that. Can I raise your question about he actually has a problem with the government. So the government is
Can I use it here? Oh. I can do this.
In spite of doing good thing for peaceful resolution of conflict in one certain area, government is actually the one who did that bad things and became the source of the violent conflict actually, including the closure of his church.
Wonderful.
How are you going to deal with that?
Wonderful. The government there are probably perceived as the aggressors, and they are so powerful. So now we operate the principle of the powerful and the powerless. How do you bridge the gap? It's through genuine, sincere advocacy. Sincere in the sense that when you are fighting a big person, the ant and the elephant, in this case, he is the elephant, the government is the ant, is to create an atmosphere.
You mean he's the
He is the ant, the government is the elephant. Oh, is that what I said it the other way?
Yeah.
Oh. Imam, the issue that happened with you with counting is beginning to happen to me with blessing of figures, entities, but I will try to be awake. Now, there, sir, if you have a neighboring government that you can appeal to appeal to the one that is perceived to be confronting you because you are little, is to create alliance of people who think like you to advocate for you. If by any means you have a very big sheikh in your city, inch towards the sheikh, make the sheikh your friend, and he or she will speak for you. What is the feminine for a sheikh woman? Sheikhist?
Hat.
Sheikha. Sheikhat. Okay, Sheikha. Is it? For one. Sheikhat. That's why we have the experts in the language and teachers of the language here. Of the religion also. We are privileged to have him here. So what I'm saying, if it is a woman challenge, you go to Sheikha. If it is for the men, you go to the sheikh. As a pastor to the sheikh, you can start a relationship. Gradually, he might speak for you if he is a stronger sheikh on the ground. But you can't fight the government and succeed. they will squeeze you. It may take long. You may not get justice immediately. You can be patient and create a network of friends who will advocate for you in the future. And why did this happen? What did I do wrong to cause the government to do this? Look inside first before you look outside. What did I do? Why was it before that it didn't attack? But why is the government attacking me now? Check your track. Maybe you make a mistake, a tactical mistake, and come back. Don't repeat it again. Look for friends to reconcile you. This is for me what we can do. It will get to a point in some nations, you may invoke outside nations to internationally intimidate your government if you are strong. Because your government wants to be seen as key players internationally. They want to be seen as friends of those who send grants and support to the country. Through diplomatic means, they wanted destroying some of the structures. A new governor came and he wanted to clear the road, including our 3-story building that we have built over the years with support from USID and others. We built a very big office. We are not renting now, we have our personal building. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you truly want to show it, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, stand up now. If you're happy and you know, sit down now. If you're happy and you know, and you truly want to show it, if you're happy and you know, don't close your eyes. All right, thank you very much. Now, yeah? Okay. Okay, yeah, Imam is telling me to accelerate. You know, there is transparency in facilitation. He just said, look, accelerate. So we go to the next one. Means I'm giving too many stories. So I should go to the techniques. The main goal of interreligious promotion is that, one, we want to address religious extremism and radicalization reduced. Yeah, so what we are trying to do to address radicalism, we have that project. So I was trying to talk about destroying the places and how Imam distracted me. I'll end the story conclusively to say, we have to invite the USID, to invite the ambassador of US to call our governor and say, you know, that building on that road, we built it. And that ends the destruction. He said, you know that building that is on that street, we supported the building. And that was all. The destruction stopped. Because he likes to go to US and they may seize his business, they may block him from having visa. He knows he needs support from the US. They may not send the aid they say they want to send because he has destroyed what is their interest. So you can use a stronger body to address a smaller body that is intimidating you. And a project that we call the Tolerance Project. It is saying that in the Tolerance Project that has just ended, and we are doing no-cost extension, they gave us some money to run a project. And we were running it, and there must be a lot of transparency, there must be a lot of accountability. If you have to run and succeed, you must not cut corners. You must make sure you deliver on the mandate. And no matter how brilliant your idea is, you don't go outside the mandate that has been given you. You can use other projects to run program outside the area. If you go outside the area because it is burning with fire, and you use grant meant for something to address that thing, you have failed, no matter how successful you are. So the Tolerance Project has 3 thematic areas. So
To be strong is to be able to access grant and run your program and sustain it, because sustainability is important. We say the thematic areas we are running it in is that we want to enhance and deepen peaceful coexistence among different faiths. Probably some of you may take this and enlarge it. Number 3, we say enhance trust and relationship building among diverse community. Now, the other one is faith, and now the other pillar is diverse community. And then to be able to watch out for issues of conflict and stop them before they escalate, which is strengthen early warning and early response and prevention mechanism. We're able to share that with you before we go on the soft people so that you may want to do the next slide. Now, usually you must, in our strategy of as a center, we invoke our spirituality. Wherever we go, we must superimpose our reason for our intervention on the scripture. What ayah or surah said this? Then that was the verse I shared with you, and this is one of the verses that Imam shared. A true servant of the compassionate Allah are those who walk on the earth in humility, and when the ignorant people address them, they say peace. And that of the Bible, I've shared it yesterday with you. It says, the New International Version said, make every effort to live in peace with everyone and be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one falls short of the grace of God, and that no bitter roots grows up to cause trouble and defile many. Prof, your bitterness can affect this, can infect this, can infect this. Because our professors say we are marginalized. You will take it, you will take it, you will take it, you will take it. Before you know, people are defiled. So that is what some of us, the pastors and the imams, share. We throw a little poison in the air, you inhale, you fight. The next, capacity building of the organization. We look at this, that in our governance, we must develop a mission, vision, value, legal status. You have to register. So we register with the relevant bodies in order to access both local and international grant. If you don't have the legal status, in our country you can be closed down. So you must have a legal status. Administration. We have an organizational structure, operational policy, procedure and system, and filing and information system. To be strong as an organization, you must have 3 or 4 methods of storing your information. The what do you call that big terabytes? That thing you put information. USB. External. You are a digital lady. You see, I'm struggling to know the name. She just told me. External what? Hard drive that you can put your information. If they come to give you grant, the people usually will say, do you have storage? How many system of storage do you have? So you should develop that strong one. And then the policy is a document that shares the do's and don'ts in your organization. How many people have operational policies here? Local operational policy. Oh yes, great. You too? Oh. So even here you don't want to stay far away. That is mentoring. He's mentoring you all the time. Good. So you must have people you look onto as mentors, like him, like the other prof sitting behind there, and the other prophetess. Oh no, professor. Woman professor is called what? No, we should try and genderize it. Okay. All right. So we need mentoring people. So that is possible, and you must have a clean financial guideline. How much do you spend? How much are you not to spend? What is allowable? What is not allowable? And this come by different funders. They give you their allowable and non-allowable. So never you use it, no matter how sweet your program is, if your financial delivery is faulty, you have failed. You may stop people from dying, but if you cannot account for how you spend the money, the project is failed. So be careful with that. Then human resource, you must have good staff, description, job description, all these things. Organizational management, strategy, operational plan, resource mobilization, communication strategy, document decision making, stakeholder investment, knowledge and management. Then number D say, program management, community involved in project implementation. You should not think you know everything. Involve the local community and let them drive the system. They have ownership for it. But if you think you come with your very beautiful religious listen and you don't use the local imam, one word from the mullah. Is that the mullah here? Yeah, one word from him can scuttle your project and you take 5 years to build it. So you must work with the mullahs and the pastors, because every Friday the mullah and the imam speak to thousands, and every Sunday the reverend or pastor speak to thousands. So whatever they tell them, they see it from God. So you need to work with the grassroots to sustain your project. Finally, effective monitoring and evaluation. The next, if there is any next, I left it there for them to see. So I should talk about program management. I said community must be involved. I said that. And then good service delivery, and I talk about standard and referrals. Now, referrals, you get to a point in your organization that you say, give this guy fund. The international committee will believe you. As we speak now, there is a professor in the US. He's looking for a job. Professor Darren Q wants to move from Boston to Harvard. And they have just sent us from Nigeria to write a recommendation. You get to that level that international communities will want you to talk about somebody who is looking for a job. I'm not sure, he gave us as part of the people that he has worked with. But I'm not at liberty to share what I write. I send it to the university directly, and the university will take a decision based on what we have written. Do you see that? So referral. And so when you mentor people like the prof is mentoring this guy, they will say, can we give this guy this money? You write him as your referral, and he will write and say, yes, he's good, and he has the qualities. So in sustaining an organization, you get to a point that people refer to you, and later you'll come that you begin to reject funds. You get to a level that so much money will be coming, you say, no, this I will not take. It has a string attached to it. So that is what Imam wanted me to say. And to ensure that you have quality, please, he talks about different kind of indicators. For every project, have an indicator that at the end, this is what we want to see. And if you have met with that in terms of qualitative, quantitative, which you know, how many of you are M&E experts here? Monitor and evaluation experts. Okay, how many of you know managerial and evaluation? Aha. Then you need to have in your center experts on that, because it is the sexiest thing now in donor communities. There is somebody that can say what you are doing, and they can see it both graphically and in figures, and they will go to the field and authenticate. If they don't see what you say you are doing, you have lost out. The next, operational perimeters. You may wish to choose where you will work. Don't work in the whole of Indonesia, you may not succeed. They may not see the impact. But when you look cluster a community or a target group and work with those, like here they are working with religious groups. You didn't bring politicians. You're not talking with market women or business people. You are talking about faith-based. So that is your constituency. Strengthen it. Beam the light until it shines. Not if HIV comes, you go there. If tomato selling association comes, you go for tomato because the money is in the no. Remain where you are. Funding will come to you. The next, our focus is Nigeria, but your focus is Indonesia. International engagement. We are here today. Have a space, but don't give all the time to international engagement. Create time and percentage. We as a body, Imam and I as the executives, are now devoting about 40% of our time to international engagement and 60% to national engagement. However, we have raised capacity of other imams and pastors that are addressing the local context.
And you must be able to go and look for money internationally. And anywhere you go, try to carry a flyer and preach your program. Somebody may pick an interest. When you are invited outside, ask the organizers if they can do a brown bag meeting for you with possible donors. In that way, you sustain your program. But sometimes we just go, we fly and come back, and no connections for the next. The next outcomes, trainee step down the skills. Anything you learn here, do it downstairs. Peace agreement, Imam say always sign a commitment. And a commitment also for both staff and even the community. For your staff, they should always, if you are investing much in them, they should write a bond. So that they can, when they come back with the skills, they should leave some and not carry it to the next. Always make sure your staff have good welfare, or they will poach. So you are training this young man. And at the point that you begin to enjoy him, World Vision will come, or United Nations will come. You give him. You see? So be careful. So, welfare of your staff is important. Don't think always about yourself. Think about your staff. Otherwise, they will be poached. They will take them away, and you start all over again. For some of you who have 5 years, 10 years experience, and you will become marketable. UN will advertise. EU will advertise. Other government will advertise. Australian government will advertise for a program manager, and they will take him away. So keep him, increase his salary every year, and give him travel incentives. Media, always try to be in the media. Be friends with them. In some countries, you need to pay, but in some countries, a common top-up. People use, I don't know how you pay for you have pay to pay and go. You send it to a media person, say, please, can you charge up your card? Just, it's a gift for you. Whenever there is a news to tell, he will come to you. And let them hear you in your country. Let them hear you outside this country. Be friend to local medias and international medias, so that you can be heard. When they hear you, your project will never die. People will always want to invest. But please, when you talk intelligently. Don't cause pains to others. Then the other one, several state governments acknowledging the impact of our work. It is done now. As we're here, the military has called us to come and train the soldiers. And it's going to be on the 8th of November. And we have to check with Imam if it was okay. We say it is okay. So they will look for you. Your government will look for you. They will recognize you in your country. They will give you awards all over. And as with those awards comes recognition. And please, there are some, when they give you award and you fail, they retrieve their award. That is happening to Kim. Sorry. Community peace platform established. You have to, in each area, when you leave, you do a program, leave some people there to keep up with the program. So we have what we call communities, conflict management mitigation regional councils. These are retired civil servants. These are retired generals in the army. These are retired either active or non-active religious leaders coming together to address conflicts in their communities. You must get community women and young people. You must always make sure there is 1 or 2 representatives of the young people. Otherwise, the dream will die with the old ones. You know, the old ones are already made up. It's difficult to change their brain. But the young people can accept change. Always make sure you have young people in your organization, both men and women young people. Then you have what we call alternative peace roadmaps. Always establish as you are living something for the people to work with as an alternative. Then we also establish those who will tell us information on the ground. It is not intelligent gathering. It is peace information. You tell them, if anything good in your community happens, please tell us, we like to know. If some people bought tea and just share, or somebody during Ramadan slaughter ram and give people to eat, a pastor buying ram or buying candy and giving Muslims to break their fast, tell us that it happened. Pastor, have you done that before? Giving the Muslim for Ramadan. You break Ramadan for them. Takbir! Oh, okay, where is the Christian pastor here? Is that why? Oh. Okay. This is a pastor with the sunnah. You see? Fantastic. So, I challenge you, if you have not been doing it, try to bring imams together and feed them during one of their iftar. It brings bond of relationship. So do that. So the CPOs will report to us that Reverend fed people during iftar. Now, when there is violence, they will also report to us, oh, sorry, somebody got killed because he did this or that. Or a lady was raped because she was found somewhere where there is no protection for her. So tell us about good things and tell us about bad things. And with that, you can plan your intervention. Because when you receive information about the trending in the society, then you will know what to address, how to write proposal, and what to write for. So you need CPOs. CPO means Community Peace Observers. Community Peace Observer. Always have it on the positive area. Don't say Community Conflict Observers. Always have it on the positive, but they can also report the negative. The next slide. Interfaith Conference in African Union. You begin to come at a level when you are well known, you begin to even address continental issues. So right now, we serve on the Interfaith Steering Committee of the African Union to advise the African government on how to address faith-related issues. So this is my imam here. That's Imam Ashafa. And this is me here. And this time around, I'm sandwiched in between two beautiful ladies. And Imam is sandwiched between two hard men. Thank you very much. So the next slide. Is there any slide? So we will give you this presentation. Now at Community Peace Action Network, this is the diagram. And the report system, these are the peace observers. They report, and we have a National Advisory Council. This National Advisory Council will be like the lady who anchored our discussion. If her father were to be alive, you put those kind of people in those councils. They can advise and they can talk on your behalf at national issues. But if your operation is regional, you get a former governor or a mayor to be member of the regional or state advisory council. And then we have this information goes straight to the Community Peace Action Network Coordinating Center, where Samson is the coordinator. So they get this information. Now they will give the information to the regional council to address it. If they cannot address it, they will take it to the state advisory council. If they cannot, they take it to the national. And usually, those people at the national can call the president to say, President, this is happening in our country. Can you help? So Interfaith Mediation Center has put in place such structure. The next. And Chief Imams of Tafawa Balewa and Mrs. Sarah, a imam and a Christian lady working together to promote coexistence. You break the barrier by working with them, but they also respect. You know, Bauchi State is a Sharia implementing state. That is to say, they operationalize some part of the laws of Sharia in that state. But we were able to move imams and a woman, Christian woman, Sarah, to work together. So that is the woman facilitating. In the past, before we started working, they would not allow a woman to stand in the front and talk to the men. But gradually, we were saying, no, where are the lalura? Those issues that talk for peace, that you can take coffee, even if you don't take coffee like me, for the exigency of the moment. Lalurat. The next skill, the next slide. These are celebration
You should also be interested when your member is wedding. This one is one of our staff, our communication. She was wedding, and so we were all invited, and the people dressed in the same color, the kind of batik. Then on the other side, it is celebration with women leaders that we have trained in some of the states. The next, Together for Peace. Young ladies like this, she sell something like a local tea in the morning, and she will local tea, like tea, but it's like porridge. And most of these boys are, and those who take drugs. So they come to her every morning to take food and bring cake. She uses her office to talk to them about peace and to stop drug. So when you give capacity to local people, they will help you do your work. The next, her name is Salamatu. And Salamatu, by the way, is he a Muslim or Christian? Name. Salamat. Salamatu? Muslim. But this girl is a Christian. So don't be confused like I saw Deborah, I was thinking by her name she's a Christian. But she's a Muslim. And I look my friend here, who is clean, I say pastor. But look at the pastor. So you should see people by their appearance and conclude who they are. The next. These are quotations. Those who enjoy. So carry stories. When our sister Abu Deng said in Marawi, Ibu Deng. When Ibu Deng said to us, the film was shown in Marawi after our intervention in the Philippines, and young people were crying and hugging each other. Carry those stories and tell it to the world that your work is impacting people. So you take testimonials from people, and that markets your organization. The next slide. You have challenges. Family members and friends, they will come, but be resilient. Explain why you are doing what you are doing. They will join you. Your staff will go away when they become strong. We have most of our staff taken by super NGOs. We have one is the finance and admins manager with UN now. He was trained in our center. We have another one working with Christian Aid. He was trained in our center. We have one working with American NGO called PACT. Worked with our center. Nikurada also went for another NGO, American NGO or British. So you will raise capacity and they will take them. But be happy that you are sending ambassadors into the whole world. They come from you, they get capacity, they grow. Our prayers is that one day you will be greater than your prof. He will look back and say, that's my boy. External resistance. We do have resistance sometimes from people. So an NGO, if you are growing too much, some people will be envious of you. But try not to outshine your boss. If you have a leader, whatever you ask, I'm using the two of you as example. Even if you are better than the prof, tell them that it was the prof who taught you. And when you are not there, the prof will talk for you. So always make reference to your boss. And in that way, good references. The bad one, take it to yourself. The good one, take it out. And in that way, you will have his support for a long, long time. And the imams and the pastors also, we have some challenges. But now, the supreme leader of Muslims in the country and the leader of the Catholic in Nigeria, the cardinal, and the president of CAN, they take advice from us. Formerly, crucify them. And now, oh, hell them. So when you are resilient, you get to a point where those who are against you will be for you. Security is important in this world. When you will be talking with rebels, we'll be talking with people who feel differently. I know in this country, there are some who say, don't do ma'amala. Don't talk to those who are non-Muslims. If they see you going, you put your life at danger like Imam put his life at danger. And I put my life at danger. So your security is important. There is a group called, forgetting their names. They will give you security. If you get to a level,
They will provide free security for you. They can evacuate you when there is danger. I will look for it and send it to my, you know the group? Okay. They support people who are working like you in dangerous areas. And if you have, what is the name? I heard somebody say something. Okay, but I can share that with you. It's important that you know if you are truly working at places of risk, they can evacuate you to safe place when you are in challenge. Staff safety to reach target neighborhoods is important. The values of IMC versus the value of government and donors. If you have your value, don't shake. Don't, because they bring money, they say, agree to some principles that will spoil your work. In Nigeria for now, they have not agreed for people to express their sexuality openly. The GB groups, the GLB, LGB. It is difficult in Nigeria as an NGO to support that. When you start it because they are giving you money, you kill the overall dream. Tell them thank you. At this time, we are still praying about it to understand. Maybe when we understand, we will come to you. So don't take the carrot because it's a big carrot. It may spoil the work you have done for many years. So don't take the donor that will dictate. Don't take the government that will dictate. The issues who is an enemy is very important. Don't create enemies that you don't know. Don't work on perception, on assumption. Otherwise, the person who will help you, you will have branded the person an enemy. And also, when donors give you something and you are working in dangerous area, negotiate with them that will not brand you. The USID that supported us, we never put anything on our car or our file or our poster that's supported by USD because it will kill the work. They agreed that now at that point, branding is not possible. But when the terrain is good, please acknowledge those who support you always. Like we have here, the branding. Emergency interventions, we should have fun always. If you go to work, like we are coming here, when we are paid, a certain percentage should go to the coffers of the organization for sustainability. There will be days that funding will not come again. You will use what you have kept behind to run for a while before the funding comes. And always negotiate. If you are on full time, like some of us, negotiate what you should be giving when you come to programs. And don't put the money first. Because as a religious person, put the work first. The money will come later. Fahimtum? Fahimtum. Structural infrastructure. If you don't have a structure, a good infrastructure, you are finished. I will not talk about this. Deal with them and those things. Advocacy, mediation, dialogue. Imam have said it. Houses, SMS, work alert. You write. If you have challenges you want to pass across, use this medium to send them. You will share this with those who have listened. The next, and set peace committees in each community. This is in another state called Jos. Go ahead. The end to peace is to what? Meeting point at what? Cold and warm stream. When there is a warm stream and a cold stream meeting, they give a blended water. So, always have a way to reaching your point where the cold and the warm will meet and they will simmer down and fly into the estuaries, into the tributaries, and into the big sea. You see your effect as it drops in the water, the ripple should reach all over the world. And I see most of you coming to that. And at the end of the end, is there any end more than the end? That is the end. So there is no end more than the end. And that is the end. Thank you very much. If there is question, please. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not ready. You see, I feel energized.
Okay, yeah, we have two sessions from this morning. Please,
Professor Shafa.
yeah, Professor, yeah.
Professor Imam Ashafa.
So we are going to collect your question for both two sessions, and please feel free to address to Mama Safa and Pastor James. But before we go, I just want to make sure about the, yeah.
You are the owner
No.
of the. Then, I think you are 30, right? 12:30.
Until 12:30. We can continue the next session after lunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but for the last 20 minutes, please raise your hand and ask your question. Let me start from here.
Okay. Okay, but about the second session, you talk about the organization, but actually you more talk about the current established organization. What I want to know is how you starting the organization, because for right now, many organization we don't have any resource. Me is working in IT sector and I volunteering my time. He's also priest that right now on leave for study, and also he volunteering his time for our cause. And we also have many volunteers in the ground in 10 provinces in Indonesia, but actually we don't have any structural supporting system. So yeah, we try to bootstrapping that into more structural, into more systematic. We have I want to know how to bootstrapping that.
That's right. Super.
Thank you. The next.
Thank you. There are two questions. The first one, what is the greatest challenge when you are trying to institutionalize your cooperation, your collaborations? I know you are from different, pastor, you are from the church, and imam from the, from the majlis, or probably the from different organizations. So what is the greatest challenge, and what is the probably the lowest points when you becomes institutionalized? And the second one, how inclusive is your institutions? Yesterday you mentioned about how you put it Muslim Christians, and then Christians Muslim, and then later you prefer to use interfaith. You mentioned about there is also Jewish Nigerian. I don't know, how do you accommodate, how inclusive, or how do you accommodate different people there, probably including between gender and also indigenous group, probably. Yeah. Thank you.
And yeah.
Okay, thank you. Imam, on the previous explanation, you said about peace declarations.
Yeah.
How is important? Is it possible to apply the peace declaration in all conflict cases? Because on some cases, sometimes the peace declarations is also triggers other cases on other sides. It's the first one. The second one is, would you like to give us the explanation or your experience where you use tools to mediate conflict with Boko Haram cases? It's very viral in our country. Thank you.
Do you know that I did not understand the second question? The first question I understand, but the second question you were doing voice modulation. When
Okay, the second one is, would you like to give us would you like to ask your experiences? What is the tools you use when you reconcile cases with Boko Haram cases? It's very viral in our country. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I take 3 in the first round, and we'll go to the second.
Just calling the question, or
Sorry? Just call the question for three questions first, and then we will go to the...
Imam will talk about the Boko Haram because he's an expert. They called him, not me. Well, in terms of what you have said, how do you start? Actually, we started with using 2 secretariats. Imam have his initial bookshop in a masjid. And I was working with the CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria office. So instead a cathedral, attached to a cathedral. So we had our first address, Muslim Christian Youth Dialogue Forum, CEO, chair of, what is the name of the
Nuruddin Central Mosque.
Central Mosque. And CAN
Equa Secretariat.
Secretariat in the heart of the city. So you have, if you see our first letterhead, it has 2 secretariats. We were borrowing, we didn't have it. And when it was time to say, okay, people see us either in the mosque or in the church, why don't we get our neutral area? So Imam brought some money from the sale of his book, and I brought money from the sale of some products, food supplements that I was also selling in addition. And we rented 1 room. And the first furniture was an old iron chair, which we still keep in our office, from Imam's bookshop. Old iron, if you sit, it will tear your trouser if you are not careful. So, and a table. And we needed somebody to stay there. We got a lady, and we were paying her a little token to come to the office and type. That's how we started. It was our personal contribution. And sometimes we go hungry because there was no food. So we go to the roadside and buy roasted yam. It's like roasted tapioca, cassava, roasted over fire with oil and pepper, grounded pepper, and eat and take water. Before we were recognized and those training came, and for the training we got there. So start with what you have. I congratulate you already for volunteering your time. And I know also you are spending some of your money, hard-earned money, to support this. Don't be tired. One day the support will come.
What is the greatest challenge?
That's the question number 2.
That's also the question for them actually. What is your greatest challenge right now?
Yeah.
Maybe they could.
Yeah, they could share. Yeah. But it's like they shared it to say they don't have money to start. But what will you say if you choose one, which is the greatest challenge?
What challenge?
Yes, greatest. The bigger. There are many, but one big one.
I think the biggest challenge right now is not about the money, not about the resource, but convince our community to supporting our cause.
Why is it so hard for them to why is it so hard for you to convince them? What is the
First, because I think they have lived in discrimination for decades. So like they live in Suharto era, that very intimidating, very tyrannic situations that they have learned if they want to survive, they should keep silent. So yeah, so right now, changing their mindset that right now is we have different era, we have different government that this is not time to survive. This is not the time to survive. This time to rising and actually contributing to the society. You right now may be the victims, but actually I believe that you can actually starting the peace process in Indonesia. What I mean is that there is very different meaning of peace between the government and our meaning of peace. The government peace meaning is harmony and non-violence. So for the government, it's okay if there is discrimination, if there is people ousted, at least there is nobody killed. That's the meaning of peace in government is nobody killed. but our meaning of peace is like the Muslims said, there is no peace without justice. So we want to bring both peace and justice, that everybody in Indonesia they can do their right to choose their own religious, whatever their religious, and practice whatever religion.
Thank you. I think we understand we had that challenge too. You want to say something?
For us, our own challenge is that when your own people fail to acknowledge what you are doing, when your own religious leaders are condemning you using the same Quran to condemn the effort, not supporting your effort, this is the greatest challenge we have at the beginning of the journey. Many of them is the lowest point. When somebody you respect, you feel he should say, yes, this is right. But because he lives in a safe community, in a safe environment, he throw hate and make other Muslims vulnerable where they are minorities, and create what is totally out of context. This is the most, for me, the greatest challenge. So it's becoming difficult for us, for them to invest even in peace, to even talk about it, talk less of putting their money into it. And then the second challenge was when the Muslim community are not investing in peace. Most of the money come from the West and other institutions that are non-Muslim institutions. And the enemy, those who are against us, say, look, they are puppets working for the West. They are working for America. They are working for Europe because Europeans are giving them money. They are working for the missionary because they are protecting missionary interests. They are not protecting Islam, the agenda, because he paid the money. And we say, you put the money here. I remember at a point in time when somebody gave us, a Muslim gave us 100, is it 100 pounds or $100?
$50 from Jordan.
He gave us 50, a lady gave, say, I'm contributing $50 from Jordan. And Imam was talking, a pastor was saying, everywhere, hey, we have Muslims contributing. Now Muslims are contributing. But how much? $50. Well, we are receiving 50,000, 100,000 from other institutions, non-Muslim institutions across the world.
But the rate was on personal, I think.
On her personal level, she was making 50,000 and $50 contributions. So you can see one of the lowest things is when your own community are not talking and are not investing in peace. This is the most lowest point for me. And the second one, which is very, very challenging, is when the organization succeed. Some members who are sitting at the edge, they are not much committed to it, and they feel that this organization has stand, and they now want to benefit from it. They come back very strong. We are part of the founding members. Yes, we invite them at the initial stage to come on board. They are, then they keep aside. Some of them keep aside. Some of them are doing their own business. They are just casually with you. Some of them are with you, but only be there when you need their service. And suddenly the organization institution, and you have a board, and because they form a network of majority in the board they want to have, and they are trying to change the whole paradigm, even change the constitution to reflect their own view or their own personal selfish interest. And you know that's what they are doing, but because it's an institution, the board has power to make recommendations and to be approved or changed, and they are changing the whole system away from the visionary, the core values you want. They say, yeah, we can maintain the core values. And then, so these are the second challenge. When you make an institution, it's beyond you. But unfortunately, you as the visionary, the initiator, suddenly, when those new board come, they are so proud to hijack everything, and they change the direction. They want to change the structural direction that can give a sense of security and sustainability. They want to change it to meet their own interest. And you become vulnerable because you are not the majority anymore, and you cannot do anything. So it's not about beginning. Even when you succeed, people you are bringing on board, some will come with their agenda, and they would like to use it in the name of promoting the same peace, but to meet up their own selfish agenda and change the whole paradigm. So it can be possible, or change part of the paradigm to suit their own purpose. This is the lowest, which I'm going through right now. It's a very, very painful one.
All hope is not lost. The King Abdulaziz International Center for Interreligious and Intercultural Dialogue has stepped up and it is investing directly in peace. Organization of Islamic Conference is also stepping up. It's also beginning to invest in peace. So what we had as challenges before, some Islamic organizations have taken up now, and we are happy to share their contacts. Some of you are alumni of some of the beneficiaries of those centers, and we can share so that they can also support the work here in Indonesia. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I can see that it's already 12:29 a.m. p.m. Yeah, he said another 10 minutes, right? So, having said this, peace declaration not all the time. You use them where applicable. By your baseline survey, you will know how to end a process. We usually want the people to get committed to what they have said. And when they write a document and sign, usually they live by it. To write a peace declaration takes maybe sometimes 5 months to get to that. It's not what they will just write one day and sign. No, the people have to agree on every dot. It also takes 1 day, depending on the people. So, but sometimes everybody will want to know his case, his issues are represented in the declaration. Not all process end with declaration. Some ends with just a commitment and prayers. Well, we also use, whether you call it declaration, we also have some with some rituals, like the ones they sign a peace book. There are others that will say, okay, want to affirm, to state here that peace has been restored in this community. When they say it, write it, print it, and get the people to see what the people have agreed on. That is another strategy. Thank you.
Tomorrow we'll show you a copy of one of the famous peace declaration, the Kaduna Peace Declaration, the Kaduna Peace Declaration of religious leaders. We'll show you a copy, and some of you will read the articles that are in it. To give you
the
example,
one that appeared in the film.
Yes, the one that appear with the signatory signing. Then, what are the tools for engaging Boko Haram? First and foremost, engaging terrorist organization or terrorist network is not advisable for you to directly engage them, where there is laws that restrict you from doing so. Because some institutions, some government will say, no government, no anybody, no citizen, institutions or NGO have right to engage terrorist accredited terrorist organizations or networks. It is forbidden, and some NGO will say, some donor will say, don't use our money to do that. But when the mediation process is taking place, and voluntarily on their own, in your individual capacity, they can contact you and say, can you come in? At times, the government can contact you and say, can you mediate between us and these rebels, or even rebels groups, as the case may be. So in our own case, it is the Boko Haram guys who invited us, give us a phone call, and these guys, they have a lot of phone numbers. They give us a phone call. Hello, Imam, how are you? Fine. We want to tell you that I'm talking as the second in command to the deputy on behalf of the Amir, that we are ready to negotiate with the government of Nigeria, because we realize some people are hijacking our name and they are doing so many bad things in our name that is not us. So we don't rape women, we don't kill children, we don't do this, we don't do that, but some people are doing it in our name. And we want that to end. And because of the women who are suffering and the children, we are ready to negotiate with the government. Can you talk to them? And I say, myself and the pastor, say, we don't give a damn. Yes, we trust the pastor. You can talk with him. Our problem is not with the Christian, it's with the government. This is Boko Haram. And I say, we'll get back to you. Please stop. And then he off the phone. And then they come back. We talk for about 26 minutes. They are giving us what they want us to do. We met with the government. The government say, okay, yes, we can talk with them. We can negotiate. So what exactly do you want? What are the issues? We agree. Then we look for partners to support us to negotiate. And we bring, there's Tony Blair Foundation. We bring in Tony Blair Foundations and some other stakeholders who can help us move. And then we move, the people like Dina or Diana with the money to transport people across. And then we get them, and then they move. And from the south, from the north, far north, the borders with Chad and Cameroon, we mobilized 13 Boko Haram boys. They come to the Lagos, the coast, on their own. They said, don't worry, where is it? We are going to be there. And these guys are corny. They know how to dress properly. They know how to wear corporate dress, clean shave, everything neat. If somebody tell you that these are the guys who are carrying bomb, you would never believe. So, and they all come to the point of a rendezvous. You just come and say, hey, Pastor, I'm here, and so. Okay. And you know these guys, they dress where, you know this, what do you call it? Hands down.
No, ass down.
Ass down. You know the ass down trousers? The trousers.
They don't wear it here.
You don't wear it here. The American ass down. You know they put the trousers here, put the shirt, and they put the things here, and they walk like this on the street. They put music here and walk like this, and they do like this, and you see them going. They open their chest, and you know these guys. You know that these are real rock guys. Some of them dress like that. But these are the guys who are saying they are fighting for Khilafah and Sharia. And they change with their earphone and hands down, and they come and say, hey, Imam, here we are. And the guy, all of them are below the age of 30, with the exception of about 2 of them. And they ask us. And when we get there, the guy saw the security. We said, that's the building we are going in. And he come and say, remember, Imam, Pastor, that place you want us to go, we see security. If anything happened to any one of us here, your family are gone. We have our people on the ground monitoring your family, your children, and your wives. If anything happened to any one of us, we want to assure you that all your family are gone. Try it, please. So you are living in fear. And then we said, no, because the building is about 10-story building. It has some banks and other things. So there's the security who guide when you come in, come out of the place. I said, no, pastor said these are just security guards for the building. They are not security hunting for you. They say, okay. And then they come in, we went through. Look at the mediation process. So we went through, and each one of them went through one by one, and pastor at the other end, and they went to the 5th floor where we have the meeting. When they come to the hall, they just look around like this. One of them, very young guy, they say he's the strategic planner, commander. He look at the building and look and say, hey, that is camera. Can you clean up that camera? We cannot talk when the camera is on. And then he said, no, the camera he said, no, we don't want that camera. Then when everybody said, no, secondly, he looked and said, look, everybody must bring their phone. Everybody off the phone and put it at the center. He said, you don't allow you to hold phones. That is the second mess. The second what? They don't agree for anybody, all the phones should be at the center. Then the security guys keep his phone. He said, no, including your phone, it must go there. And he says, it has to be on the table. You cannot hold your phones. Everybody keep the phone there. Then we started talking. And they bring their 7-point agenda, about 7 or 8-point key issue they have with the government. And when we have it, we say, okay, we'll go. It's a shuttle mediation. We'll now go to the government, and we come to Abuja. Like from here, it's an hour plus flight. Then we fly to Abuja and go and meet the government negotiation with the special minister for special services and discuss. After I said, look, forget about these guys. We have everything to do with them. We shall crush them. The government are not interested because there's money, security money flowing into their purse. So they don't want, if it ends, then there's all the money budgeted will not come to them and go back to the purse. So we have that. And when that happens, the next thing they do, the guy says, look, leave them alone. If they say they are not ready for negotiation, we don't want negotiation. We are going to meet them in Abuja. And we'll get them in their houses in Abuja. And we shall start with them. And about 2 weeks after, they throw bomb at the Inspector General of Police, the National Police Security Officer, into the building. A suicide bomber go in. Then the next day, 2-3 days after, the UN building, bomb, bam. Then the next day, Independence Day, October, bomb. So everything started happening in Abuja, and then it was rowdy, and from there, it got worse. So we are invited, or we may be invited, you may be invited by either the government agencies or the rebels, or people who have a concern with the government to mediate. you must always maintain your neutrality. We have such a situation. So it's one of these tools we use. The tool of shuttle mediation was what we used during Boko Haram, because the two of them had not agreed to what? To sit down face to face. So what did they say? We said, well, they say they are thinking about. We didn't tell them to say to her. We said, and you have to be creative. Creative in the word you use as a shuttle mediator. You don't repeat word for word. If they insult them, don't say they insulted them. Are you getting it? So these are just some of the key important elements I want to share with you. That is not easy. You need to be creative, and at times you put your life on firing line, on the red line. You are on the red line as a mediator when you are handling critical issues. And secondly, you have to be very careful. Whatever is discussed in the mediation, you don't share with the press. You don't even share with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You don't share with your brothers. What you discuss in the mediation table must end inside the room. So pastor is pregnant. He has a big belly. What pregnant of word you have from various process of mediation that we are trying to start writing books now, put our stories in books for others to learn, but changing the name to something else, fictitious name. But these are true story of mediation and intervention in different communities. Thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you. I have to stop this session right now because our time for lunch now. But we will extend the question and answer right after the lunch. Please, not just a question that you deliver, but please feel free to bring your case to be discussed. Because Imam and Pastor also, they need to learn from the strategy, probably particular tools that you use in your respected area, in your respected case. So please, we can enrich the next session through many cases that you're struggling with.